It's time for Q&A in the Kitchen. It's a podcast and YouTube series where tattoo artists and a piercer talk about some of the more common questions those that collect tattoos and piercings and those that do them may have. Brought to you in part by Skin Kitchen Tattoo and the Axiom Body Piercing Studio. Today we're going to be talking about kind of a follow-up from last time, but I should probably tell you who's here today. Over directly across from me is Jimmy St. John, tattoo artist at Skin Kitchen Tattoo. Directly to my left is Jack Lowe, tattoo artist and owner of the Skin Kitchen Tattoo. I'm DaVo, I'm a body piercer, and I own and operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio, and we all share space. It's like a commune, but without all the weird, sex cult thing and all that stuff.
It's like a real world episode without the cameras.
Yeah, exactly. So last episode, we talked about AI and whether or not the designs are useful or not. We're going to go a little bit further into that. So I guess this is part two. Yeah. What are the things? And I took my sister out to lunch, right? And we're talking about all the things. And she always watches the podcast when she has time. And she's like, I felt so sorry for Jimmy because he kept giving that example and no one ever did it. Yeah. So we're going to show you.
We call that being artistically blue-balled. He was artistically blue-balled, and he was
concept blocked.
He needed so much satisfaction that the second the episode ended, he runs to his iPad and starts furiously sketching. And it had to come up with it to get it out. It's, I imagine it's much like a serial killer feels the need to kill, and then after the release, but still kind of that guilty, dirty feeling. Anyway, So
this is what he came up with, right?
Yeah. So you were
it's not finished yet. It's a work in progress. But like you said, it was in my head. I wanted to sketch it down.
Yeah.
And see what because I just immediately, like when we come up, when people tell us stuff, when you come up for a consult and you're giving us this list of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that was our.
Oh, I forgot about our.
I can't believe you didn't.
I forgot to even mention Brent isn't here today because he isn't feeling well, and then we had Willow filling in for him, but somebody opened up a bag of food.
Yeah, the producer over here just opened a bag of food, and that ended that.
Yeah, she's a little drama queen.
Yeah. Oh well.
She's in her trailer now.
Down to 3.
Yeah.
Anyway,
when people come in and they do the consults and give us this list of stuff they want in it, that's kind of like that's a little. I guess a Polaroid of what goes on in our head when we're putting all that stuff together, because we see something or close to it, and that's what we're getting, these visions, and then we're altering it with more details later on. But
I do probably 60 to 80% of the sketching and concepting and drawing of the artwork I end up putting on skin, probably like 30 minutes after the consult.
Oh yeah,
because that's when my brain's really
firing on it.
Yeah, and I can just see it real good, and it just comes real easy. So I just want to get it down, and then I'll end up usually doing hopefully several consults back to back. So if a consult only takes, and usually they're pretty quick these days, because people know enough about what they want. They know enough about you as an artist that they're comfortable and they don't need all this reassurance and all this artwork and all this,
you don't have to sell them so much.
They're relaxed. They're like, anyway, so you have this downtime, and I will do most of my drawing on it then, and as long as I have a good solid day or two before that appointment to just tighten up and get that thing put together, that's really all I need. So getting that out of your head when it's fresh is kind of give me a napkin or something.
Anything, dude. It's because everything's just it's coming so fast and so clear.
Right.
You want to, because that as hard as you want to think about it later, it ain't going to be like that.
Because many times we do that.
Because inspiration is fleeting.
Yeah.
Well, yes, absolutely.
That's why these are either really helpful
or
they're the worst. Because you can either make a quick note.
Right.
When you have a thought, like when you're, not when you're driving, maybe you pull over into it. But
or you can do it verbally, like just voice.
Alexa.
Yeah. Yeah, or whatever, Siri, whatever.
The only problem is when you open it up and some, 8 notifications come up and you're like, oh, I didn't know about that. And then 20 minutes later, you're like, what was I going to do here?
Dude, I've gone back to where it says notes in your phone because I made little notes of stuff, right?
Sure.
So I was going through it just the other day, a little side note, and I went in there, I opened it up to set like a little note for something, and I saw all these notes that I'd made for myself that I never went back and read, and I'm like, this thing is useless. It's just like,
it's just like all the pictures.
Hey, do you want to make a note? Cool. Yeah, I made a note. Where'd it go? I don't know. Where notes go? I don't know. We're gonna read it again? Probably not. This is to myself.
With all the other notes.
My mail.
But you achieved it, and that was all. It's like I used to live with a guy that was a list maker. Like he would have the list. Tomorrow I'm going to get up at this time. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get all this stuff in, and I'd come back later on that night,
sitting on the couch doing
nothing.
He'd
still be on the couch. The only thing that had moved in the room was the drawer where he kept his pot.
Yep.
You know, it's that list did you a lot of good.
You got to act on it.
Yeah, you got to act on it immediately.
I have that list every day when I wake up of shit I got to do. You know, that's how I work. It's just
And after that episode, when you were drawing that stuff, it kind of showed us that we need to look around a little more and see if there is a good, helpful app out there that gives you just, at least close to what you're looking for,
right?
And gives you at least it's drawn or presented in at least a solid artistic fashion. It's not just bad artwork, with really bad concepts.
It gives you somewhere to start,
at least a source
point.
Material.
It gives you a really good jump off point. So you ended up finding one.
I found one that we used. It's was AI art, or
you just looked. It's on here. Just take a look.
Well, hold on. No,
it's right
AI
there.
art generator.
Yeah, AI art generator. And you got it off the Apple.
The app,
it's on the iPad.
iPad App Store. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably for Droid too. I'm not positive, but
while he's looking for that, do you guys have the same problem that occasionally you get inspired to do something, but you have all these tasks in front of you that you have to get through before you can get to it?
That's
the biggest problem I have with content.
Yeah.
And it's like when I try to schedule stuff out, it's like I don't want to do that today.
Yeah, and I get spread, and a lot of times I'll get my foot just in the door enough to kind of to make it like I have to do it now. Mm-hmm. Like I spent $100 on materials to make this whatever thing I want to make. So the parts are there. So I'm dedicated. I have to do it
now
at
you're
least
obligated.
Eventually.
Yeah.
And I'll end up I'll have a few smaller projects that I'll bounce around, and then I'll have a main project that I'm kind of on. And I get spread all over hell and back. And I'm lucky if the main project gets done, and if any of the small projects gets done. So
that's why I don't own a home.
I guess it's a process, but it's not I didn't say it was a good process.
No, but it's similar like when we do our art too. It's you know what I mean. That's kind of.
Yeah,
it's where a lot of folks like us get in trouble when we're once we have to go back home and be adults, and you got to fix the floor tonight or the plumbing or the toilet or whatever, you know what I mean? You got to do it. You can't be like, oh yeah, I got this idea to do this and get off.
Yeah, and I think that's good though, because some never get beyond a thumbnail sketch.
Right.
You'll have this, and
then some just keep growing like this one did. It
some,
just,
Yeah, the more you work on it, the more you want to work on it.
Right.
And
the more your finished vision is like finishing that painting that you started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, I started this is going to be like a mountain with a lake, and I got the mountains are in there and stuff, and and then when you start working on it, you're like, well,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it pulls you back in.
Yeah, it pulls you back into it, and whether it was the original or not, it's close.
Point.
But
sometimes I'll start a project, and I'll get to that point in the project that I will do. I'll use the trick I wanted to use in it, like whether if it's an artwork, some sort of foreshortening technique or some sort of shadowing or shading technique.
You
or
just
something
get
like
to where you wanted to do that,
and then I really don't know I want it to be, because I was doing this project just I had an excuse to do this thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of projects I'll get to that far and they'll sit on the shelf, and then sometimes I can either use part of it, or I'll get back to it and get re-inspired, or something else I learned I can add to, and then take it farther.
Keep adding to it. Yeah.
And that happens with drawings a lot, I think.
Absolutely.
You'll get something far enough to where you're like, oh, yeah, that looks cool, enough to where it's
you can leave it alone.
I'm satisfied. Yeah.
It's like the idea has to percolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I usually call like meaningless, mindless tasks like that I don't do anymore, like mowing the lawn. If you have to stop and do that, there's not really much you can do to entertain yourself while you're pushing
headphones and
half a acre. And it's easy to start getting into that. I do that when I'm on the bike. If I'm on the trail and I'm on a 20 or 30 mile ride, I'll be, halfway through it, I'll be like thinking about, okay, well, this and this and this and this. Or when I would drive in or ride in, sometimes I'm writing the script in my head while I'm coming in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And
totally.
I think
Find
that
it when you
sometimes you need that. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to strike when the iron's hot, and sometimes you have to let it cool a little bit to see where it's going to go.
Oh yeah,
and that development time can take a lot of time to have like an idea of what you want, but getting that from your electric meat sack in your brain in your head onto something in our 3D world that's tangible that you can use beyond. AI does that in like split seconds. So
that's really cool.
So did you figure out the name of the app?
Yeah, it was AI Art Generator.
AI Art Generator.
Okay.
So
I said it immediately.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So that's the really cool thing is this can be used as kind of that mediator, because how many times do a client comes in and goes, oh, I can't draw, but
this what I want.
They have a little napkin drawing, which I love, dude.
Right.
Give me, I'll never talk shit about your little sketchy drawings.
No, man.
That gets me that much closer to your brain.
It gives me a little window into what you're thinking and what you're kind of seeing, and I can figure out
I'm going to be able
to make it into.
I'm going to be able to more easily understand what you want through pictures than I am
anything else
through little black symbols on a white background. You know?
If I get instructions for something, dude, I'm looking at the pictures and putting it together because I haven't read a word of the other crap because I'm not taking it in. I don't read books. Like, that's not my thing.
So the cool thing with this is look at this art generator, this AI, as an artist that we know, that we like their artwork, we know what they produce, and it's easily legible to us to turn into tattoos. And this person is available 24/7, and you can just feed them your dumb ideas,
whatever idea
as long as you want, and you're not gonna take up anybody's time but your own. You're not paying anybody to do all this.
Great.
And then when you get something you like, it's written in the language that your artist speaks, pictures, and bam. So it's a really good mediator to get your words out of your head and those pictures out of your head into the 3D world where you can bring it to us.
Right.
So
now, with that being said, there's some rules and regulations kind of to go along with it, so to speak.
Yeah.
I found when you do generate the art on the AI, it gives you a bunch of stuff you have to you have to choose, like what kind of art you want: digital art, 3D cartoons, comic, cyberpunk, fantasy, illustrator, pencil drawing. It's got all kinds of different things you can choose from. Yeah. And that's just your theme that you start with. Then it asks you to type in the stuff that you want, but you can't, like, I don't want to say it and sound rude, but you can't ramble. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want,
not on this one anyway.
Well, yeah. I found all of them. It just makes it more kind of crazy stuff it throws in if you do. Like with the girl, with the space girl, all I put in was space girl with a ray gun, tiger, and I think that was about it. And that's what it generated. But if you're like, I want a tiger because I saw him one time, you're going to really mess it up. It don't need to know all the information. It's your buddy, but it ain't that close to you.
No, the one
it just wants the facts.
The one that I was using on Discord or whatever I had to go through, I can't remember the name of it. I'll think of it. It wanted you to get creepy detail. Oh yeah.
That's weird.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, yeah, because I want a tiger, but I don't want it doing anything that I want it serving coffee. You know what I mean? So it was great. I could really give it a subject, what I wanted that subject to look like, how close I wanted to see that subject, what I wanted around that subject.
Right, that's cool.
Very.
I haven't ever used one that does that.
This one in particular, though, you're saying works better with kind of the key words.
As you and I found out, you'll see later on in the pictures. When we do.
I don't know if I don't have a monitor or nothing. I don't know if you're showing nothing.
We're doing or nothing.
I was.
But so anyway, this app I said for this picture, if you're seeing it, is Zombie Cherub,
and it was under digital art.
Digital art was the selection. So that was this was your Tiger Space Girl.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I typed in, so I went to it and I put in the Tiger Space Girl. Well, the first one is that just the chick.
This one?
The one without the one.
We'll find it.
She's like at the very end, I think, the last picture I sent you.
Oh,
she's,
okay. What, this?
Yep, that's what it originally gave me when I put it in the Tiger.
Because she looks like a tiger.
Oh, yeah, she's
Space,
got tiger ears.
Yeah, she got tiger ears.
Oh, that's cool.
Space Girl. With a ray gun.
That was the first.
And that was the first thing that it gave me. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool, but like I really want like a tiger. So I put a Space Girl with a ray gun, then I put N Tiger, and then it gave me that one.
Yeah.
Because I specifically made the tiger thing, and it was like, that's cool, but it gave me a girl tiger too. And I was like, that was a cool spin on it. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is kind of the fun thing, because as the person that's looking for artwork to get on them, it's almost like suggesting different.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it was another idea that I hadn't thought of, and I was like, well, that's neat.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
It can somewhat be it's kind of like consulting with someone who's really good at art and drawing art and laying it out and giving, a really appealing piece of artwork, but it doesn't really know a whole lot about working with body shapes.
Oh yeah, none of that. That's kind of
necessarily doing composition that's great for the body.
Right, that still falls to us.
Right, but it is really good at composition overall, and sometimes that can easily translate to the body. And
I love the background in it, like with the ship.
It's a good pre-console.
Part of the ship and stuff. Yeah,
it's
a good pre-console. I guess
it's a great start to build off of.
Yeah,
it's kind of like concept art.
Yeah. I always tell people, like, and they still can, to make a folder on your, iPad, your phone, whatever. And whenever you come across some artwork that's appealing to you, even if you're not sure right at the moment, save it, put it in that folder for tattoo ideas. And every now and then go back to that folder and kick out stuff that you just look at and go, why the hell did I ever save that?
Right.
And you'll start to notice, if you pay attention, what you like, even though you might not know what you like.
Right.
You're going to see overall similarities to these pieces that you're choosing, and you'll kind of start to learn really where your likes are. I don't know if people just don't really pay attention, or people just think, I don't know, I just kind of like what I like. And
yeah.
But that's a good way to kind of, if you're thinking, like, because a lot of people, they want to get tattooed, but I don't know what I'd get.
Yeah.
Right.
So
well, this is your chance to sit at home and like type in and kind of throw some ideas around, because whether you feel embarrassed or just shy or whatever, you don't want to say like, well, I want a space clown running around on the moon in a hot rod car. Or you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. This is nobody else knows.
Yep.
Yeah. So I say get on it and do it if you're into it or want to check it out. It's interesting. Waste some time.
And
plus it's a rabbit hole that you definitely are going to go down.
Absolutely.
Because before long you're going to be like, well, what it would look like with horns.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
What about a goat?
Exactly. You can get as weird as you want with it. And then I don't know if you have it or not, but the one of the Space Girl that we drew up. Well, I drew up.
That was the one.
And then we've all kind of run with.
Yeah, this one that you had to puke out of your brain.
Yeah, that's where my brain went. And I like to compare it to the AI one too. Like, damn, that thing beat me again, but I'm not a computer, so.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I'm human.
Well, you don't know that for sure. You could be.
Well, I could be, or I could just be a thought. I don't know.
But
I'll be living in Westworld.
I could be a migraine.
I was really excited with what it gave us when we put in the zombie cherub.
Oh man, that's one of my favorites.
It just, as an artist, it really makes you want to throw away your art materials. And
exactly.
You're
like, well, I didn't think anything near that cool up. You know what I mean? Like, man.
And that's the great thing too about it, is it's like this person that's in your pocket that you can just bounce ideas off of whenever you feel like it.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of this brain trust kind of thing that you can have to extend your own brain.
And like with me and you, found another tool that thing has is after you put your first whatever you wanted in it, the zombie cherub. Mm-hmm. Do you got the progression of that?
Well, yeah, I've got
because it started.
I think this was one of the first ones it gave.
Keep coming.
Then there's.
So Pat, there you go.
Yeah,
that's the last one. So
that one.
But there was.
Just look at
the first one.
I don't think I put skulls in as a prompt. I think it was just zombie cherub.
And we just let the AI
just chew on it,
refine it or whatever. It kept doing.
And I think what it's doing is it's obviously going out and finding source material that it has access to create these.
No,
it's actually
No, it is rendering this.
Yes.
It is one of a kind produced artwork.
And if you look at it like real close, you like as it progresses, if you go like that one, how it starts, you'll notice like some of the fingers are a little wonky.
And that's why that's happening.
And
oh yeah, there's
that. Well, that was like by her finished one, but she started out like the one before that, and that's the finished.
I've got, I guess, what, 3 of those? Yeah, 3 different.
You should have like
those.
3 different ones, or 4 different ones.
That one.
Yeah, that's the middle one. That's where it changed it from the little baby one to that. From that one to that was the first one.
Yeah, and then it added on all these craziness.
Yep, that's the second.
And then she got older.
And then she got, that's the third.
Yeah.
But like if you notice some of like there's a leg from nowhere going to nowhere. Some of the fingers are like misnumbered and crooked and broken and like.
And when you're doing this kind of artwork, that looks awesome.
It does. Right.
But if you're doing, like, a pinup.
And like her nipples are on the outside of her shirt. They're like actually on her cloth, not on her. Mm-hmm. Like just little weird stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with none of it. I think it's awesome.
But it's the way a computer doesn't know what's going on underneath the skin and body.
Exactly. It doesn't really understand human yet.
It's anything you bring in is going to need to be refined.
Yeah. It's just
absolutely.
a really good, hey, my buddy drew this, but I want this to be a tattoo. Now you take it and make it a cool tattoo.
But the fact that it does alter a lot of stuff and make creepy stuff like that, it lends to, I like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like creating monsters.
Yeah. And they're
and it gives me a really good base to make it even worse, or you know what I mean?
Well,
if you want.
What's his name? With the happy trees?
Bob Ross.
Sorry, Bob. Bob Ross would say they're happy mistakes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, happy mistakes.
Yeah.
So I fit in like a skeleton cowboy.
Yeah.
On a horse or something.
You said a skeleton cowboy.
Yeah.
Riding a dinosaur.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Riding a dinosaur.
That was the first one, and so then we got
that.
No, the one before that one.
Oh, was it? Man, he's got them all. He knows what's up here. Oh, was it this one? No, that's the last one. Or the last one. Yeah,
that's the first one.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and he's riding a dinosaur.
I'm like, that is the coolest upper arm tattoo I've ever seen. Like
exactly.
Like, give me a break. The face of the dinosaur coming between his legs as he's like sitting on his head, all cool. Like a computer thought of that. What? And
there's a battle.
The one behind him, it looks like he said, "Hey, let's take a selfie."
Yeah, and he's like,
he's like, I'm about to eat this guy. There's a war going on back behind him. There's like you got the flames. Burning. You got
volcano or yeah,
and you got
like
the
flames,
mountains like for the planes, and then you got this other dinosaur running from the party, but he's got like a handicapped arm.
I'm coming.
I'm on my way. I couldn't find my hook.
And then the leather jacket. I'm looking at his jacket. I'm like, I want that freaking jacket.
Oh, dude, I'd wear that.
Like, that is the coolest jacket.
And that skeleton has got the best hair of any skeleton I've ever seen in my life.
And the way the bones are kind of coming up, like it's a print kind of on the shirt and stuff.
It's part of him, but not.
It's just really neat artwork.
Did you notice around his gun hand at the wrist, there's like a mouth?
Oh,
what is that?
Some sort of bracelet, maybe?
Or bones? Like it looks like teeth or something.
Yeah, it's just like a texture,
crazy.
But it works.
Yeah, I love it.
So I wonder if they'll eventually come up with a slider to adjust certain themes.
Well, that's
like more evil, less evil.
Oh, they do.
Well, they do. That's that's how we keep altering them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like so, the next one's that one. That was the second one because we just let it chew on itself.
Mm-hmm.
And did you notice the silhouette that looks like it starts out like a tree, but it's like a dinosaur face with the eye through it,
right
on the left.
And this takes
cool,
under like 5 seconds.
A couple seconds for it to do it
to kick out this incredible
and then
stuff.
I wanted it to rob a train.
Yeah.
So. It chewed on its own stuff, just put him on a train.
Again, look at that jacket.
I know. The jacket is awesome.
That is the coolest freaking
I know. If somebody sold that,
ever,
you'd be rich. And look at the pants.
Yeah.
You know how it goes to his boots, but it's like a strap that goes around his boots, and
it's
it's got those shells. Yeah, like riding bike kind of material stuff.
If Fox or whatever saw, I mean, you could make riding pants that had that kind of armor.
If we weren't lazy, and somebody said we could, make them.
As many times I've seen a Predator skull on one of those things.
Oh yeah, totally.
They would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's kind of like sort of.
It's kind of almost an alien skull.
Right. It's a skull,
but I think it's supposed
really.
to be a dinosaur skull of some sort.
Could be, yeah. But yeah, no, it's just
maybe it's a sleaze stack skull because he was in the land of the lost.
And that's the neat thing about it. It gets you far enough to get your brain jumping off. So it's like, thanks, but bam, and then you can just take it and go.
And the dinosaur is still laid up behind him that he's riding.
Yeah, that's his crew, bro.
Yeah, and then the skeleton dinosaur behind it.
Yeah, he's coming in. He's coming in from behind. I don't know. He's like standing on top of another one or something.
You see out of the window, there's like a wagon train.
Oh yeah, like a big old mammothly
looking thing with hay bales out there.
Yeah. So
it's just wild, you know.
Very, very cool. So, and then we did
a pirate ship.
Yeah, the pirate ship was. I'm like,
that was just like one thing, and I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna just leave it at that because I'm just gonna get more and more feeling hurt.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm not gonna mess with that.
Yeah, it took AI like 5 to 6 seconds to completely render that.
Yep, just
fully render it, color, bam.
Here you go, something like this. Like, yeah, man, that's perfect.
That's somebody's final in art college that took them 6 months.
Right.
That AI just went, oh, watch this.
Like this is bing.
So
and it made like the lightning in the clouds and stuff breaks where the highlights in the clouds are, where the moon would be just hitting them. It's perfect.
I hope you enjoyed being human while it mattered.
Well, you know, somebody's still got to put it on you.
That's the misconception that the people have about AI. It's not about a replacement. People thought the same thing about things like manual calculators and ad machines. And every new technology that comes in, of course, it's going to be scary at first, but the idea is that it frees you up to do the things that you want to focus on. So you can use this for the beginning, and that gives you that ability, the concept's already there and done, to expand on and make that final product.
Haven't they been using that excuse since the washing machine? And has our day gotten
easier?
No, it hasn't. It just gets more and more and more and more complicated, and it gets more expensive. So we'll see.
But I mean, that's basically what it is, and it's that way in pretty much every industry out there.
But this is smarter than you.
And it's usually tedious tasks that are tedious.
Yeah, they don't like them either.
You know, where it takes a long period of time to do something. And that's where AI is going to shine. It's not going to be like, it's going to replace the guy at McDonald's that stands there and flips.
Well, it will. It will. Yeah, it'll definitely replace him because all you need to do is place your order like you do now on the screens, and the whole thing is almost already automated back there, like the fries and all that. So just
does it put in the E. coli too?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That comes straight from the
I've almost gotten to the point where I'm not going to eat
grow
lettuce at restaurants anymore.
Well, do you know where it comes from? Have you ever watched that?
It comes from Mexico.
No, it comes from California.
Well, same difference.
Kind of. But
and whose fault
that was funny. So they built where all the lettuce fields are right there, and then they hold all the cattle for like 80% of the fucking country around there with the corrals and stuff where they built, and then concrete runoff systems like the LA River, which is just the sewer thing. They build those out there, and then all the runoff goes to there. Well, the water goes to the holding runoff pond with all those chemicals from the manure and stuff in it, and that's what they use to spray onto the lettuce to water. Well,
pay millions of dollars.
I wonder how that happened.
Like rules.
Well, who built these? Who put these places together? Why couldn't you put one on one side and one on the other side and not have them touch each other? It's just dumb.
They want to keep you safe and healthy.
But anyway,
same reason you can't drink water out of the Des Moines because there's too much nitrogen.
I wouldn't drink water out of any running water source on the planet right now that runs on the ground.
Make sure you pay your water bill.
Which all comes from used to come from.
I drink bottled water from springs.
Used to come from field runoff
in plastic bottles.
Yeah, well, it says it on the bottle and it claims
springs.
it. So
on the plastic bottle.
Here's the deal with that though: it's still filtered.
Yeah,
they can't legally sell it.
I know.
So it's all
legally. It has to be run through industry for you to consume it first because
it's America.
Care about you.
Because there was like the big thing with all those people drinking raw water and they couldn't figure out why they were all getting sick.
Raw water.
I'm going to go from the mountains and get it out of a creek.
Don't you know before industry you couldn't even drink water?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know, but it was
anyway.
It is what it is, and people died from E. coli all the time, and all kinds of food-related stuff.
Once there's too many people in the same pond.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember
dysentery. It's just like Oregon Trail all over again. When Indians got you, dysentery got you. You drowned in the river.
So see, that was the worst because you never knew what your water source was until it was too late.
Well, you knew what your water source was. You just hope there's nobody up above you that had been ahead earlier and they were pooping in it.
And chances are humans.
They were.
It's water. We just poop in it. What about the people downstream?
Hey, in India they still do it. Yeah. They even burn people in it after they poop in it and wash in it. Then they bathe in it. But
Anyway.
that's another story for another time.
So now that you don't want to drink water or eat anything,
Yeah, now that we've totally given you all these phobias, on to the next subject.
it's our diet plan.
Right.
The Q&A in the kitchen diet plan.
Oh, yeah.
Only $19.95. Sign up now and you'll get this free plastic cup.
Send me $100 and I will send you information on how to get people to send you $100. I promise.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about scams here in either the second one or the next one or the
Yeah.
one after that one. So
Yeah.
look forward to that. Do you think we've done well on this?
Yeah,
and we
I
should
think,
call it a day?
I think that's
I
a
think
good
it's
little
pretty good
follow-up
one.
to the AI thing. Just know that there is really good apps out there that
Absolutely.
really do produce really nice stuff. So, and at least as far as
Bless you.
At least as far as
I
I'm
thought I was going to be the one that would do that because I've been sneezing like
Yeah.
crazy all last few days.
They're allergic to me.
But at least as far as I'm concerned, and this shop is concerned, you're not hurting any feelings by bringing some of this artwork in or using this
No, absolutely
AI
not.
as a way to, as a kind of a mediator, artistic mediator in a way, or as something in your pocket to help you talk to us as artists to get your point across, because sometimes finding that artwork that represents what you want can be the hardest part. But here you have an inexhaustible artist sitting there that's going to produce finished artwork in seconds to help you get closer to what you're wanting on your body forever.
It's another tool in your toolbox.
Yeah.
That's right. It always helps.
Exactly.
Yep.
So yeah,
I think it's cool.
we got.
I have a point for this that I kind of want you guys to talk about.
Barely coming through on this. Let's turn you up a little
That's
bit.
because you turned me down so nobody can hear me.
Well, because you crinkle over there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know
So-
if it comes through, it comes through.
what I have noticed lately, I showed a couple to Jimmy the other day and Brent, is a lot of people are using AI photos that they're getting and they're putting them on bodies,
Yeah.
like their tattoos, but they will not translate
Yeah, yeah.
to a tattoo. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
how
That
do
is.
people understand, hey,
It is, yeah, something to look out for. You can tell it, the same AI to show a guy with an arm sleeve of whatever, and it will show a very convincing picture of a guy with that sleeve tattooed, quote unquote, on him. And it's obviously not real, and so it's not a true representation of what a person would look like with that sleeve on.
Right. They'll just take a generic arm or whatever like we have for the drawing and do that.
So,
I mean, it can kind of give you an idea of what that artwork's going to look like on your body.
Yeah.
But the reality is that, if they're representing themselves with that crap, then no.
skin is skin, and silicone and electricity is silicone and electricity.
Right.
They're not going to be represented by your eyeball the same way. So
Right.
Maybe that's why when I come across those Instagram things where it's like, wow, that's a pretty good tattoo. That's a pretty good out. Oh my God, what the hell is that? And you'll look through it and it's like either this person massively advanced in like 2 days or, they have no idea what they're doing.
right.
Right.
Yeah. And
Or it's fake.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest struggles, I think, as a tattoo artist, is that to represent what your work looks like on the skin to someone on a photo, either whether it's on a computer or printed or whatever.
Yeah.
There's something about a tattoo, a lot like sculpture, I'm sure, that unless you are there looking at it with the natural light bouncing and hitting you in the face, it just isn't gonna read the way it's not meant to be seen that way.
No.
I guess. So yeah, it's hard. Sometimes, there's artists, they'll have beautiful tattoos they did and they'll never publish them. Why? Because when they look at that picture, it doesn't represent what they want, what that tattoo looks like.
Right.
They don't want to put it out there. And it's hard. So, the AI thing, it's just a way of getting us a little closer to what's in your head and you expanding too on your ideas, because it's going to take your idea and do some wacky things. And sometimes that's really fun and can send you on a neat little rabbit hole to discover other neat things you can do. But it's just another tool to help us dig into your brain and get you a really cool tattoo.
Absolutely.
And that's why, I'm a stickler on piercing photos. I don't like to take them right after they're done because they don't look. They're not finished.
Yeah,
it should be a photo of the piercing healed.
That's exactly
because it's going to look completely. It can look completely different 2 months into that process than it did the day you did it. especially with the experimental crap. And that's why a lot of people will see that, oh, well, I've seen like 40 photos of that and it looked fine. It's like, yeah, it was taken 2 seconds after it was done.
Yeah.
They sat there for 20 minutes and cleaned it up, and then they use contrast and a bunch of filters to get all the redness out.
Same thing, yeah. And that's a good point, you know. It's not finished if it's not healed. You know, and just like tattooing and piercing, you do the piercing or the tattoo knowing that the body is going to take it and do what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Right.
So when we're applying certain shadows, shades, values, whatever, we know that's not the final product. The body is going to take it and it has a say. Just like, so if we show you a picture of it, you know, in that state where the body hasn't done what it's going to do with it yet, well, it's really not finished.
No.
So, but at the same time, that's not saying that somebody who publishes a picture of unhealed piercing or tattoo is somehow doing something wrong. Shit, I've done it 99% of the time, because
that may be the only opportunity you ever have to see that tattoo.
people have a life, and you know, stopping at the tattoo shop for 6 hours once was a big feat. I ain't gonna do it again.
Exactly.
You know, it's just the way it is. So
Yeah,
and I used to tell people, it's like, you know, it's really easy to get discouraged in this business, because a lot of times when the person comes back, it's because there's a problem.
yeah,
You don't always see
Right.
unless they come back for something new, you don't really see your successes as much as you see.
That's a good
things
point,
that
I
are
guess.
kinda-
Especially early in the career, or depending on the shop you're in, where there's a lot of turnover, or you do a lot of.
If you're doing a lot of people, you're going
Yeah.
to see more problems.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because humans are all different.
Yep.
We have different habits. We have different immune systems. We have different healing process. Everything's different from person to person. What works with one person may not work at all.
Well, that's a cool thing about like the Derma Shield and stuff that came back. You know, what I mean, that's come out
Kind of
recently.
That does help.
It's a lot less problems for people, because, like I said, we worked. The shop I was at in Virginia, we worked right by a military base, and we tattooed thousands of people every year. You know, regardless. But like a lot of those people would come back anytime they were around. You know, we built clientele big time, but with the military turning over so fast, you get like classes in for so long. They tattooed when they graduate, and then they're gone. You don't, you don't see them again. But it, that helped with that a lot. You didn't have a lot of people returning or coming. Like we didn't have a lot of people come back with any problems, but we had a lot of return customers for work. But
it would almost kind of be like the old Carney days, where you're in a different spot all the time, so you don't get to follow up very often.
Nope.
So
seeing something like healed was people you did in town, but any of the military stuff you didn't know, you were lucky to ever see it again.
And that's why it's important, I think, if you have an artist that you like and everything else and what have you, and they make a mistake, whether it's piercing or there's a problem, or a tattoo there's a problem, it's important, even if you get better advice from somebody else, to go back to that original person and go, hey, this turned out this way, because that's the only way they're ever going to know they're doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's so true. I mean, if the person doesn't see the result, then they're going to assume it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from you, so it's fine.
So coming back and constructively saying, hey, this is what this is after what you did. This is the result. That's the only way we're gonna know the right and the wrong and what happens.
Yeah.
And there's been instances where someone has come in and said, hey, you did. That's why we turn you down all the time.
Yeah. Exactly.
As I did exactly what 100 other people did, but mine did this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good to know.
I want to know that,
because
right.
If that does happen, I can tell people, hey, there is a chance. I've had 1 out of 100 people that this happened. Now it's one.
Right.
So that's knowledge,
possible.
that's information, that's power, that's only going to make things better.
Right.
So that's a really good thing to keep in mind.
You know that when somebody comes back and with piercings, if it looks a certain way or what have you, I can generally go, what may have happened is this.
Yeah.
And this is what we need to eliminate to try to fix this problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I'll go, you know what? I had a bad day. I didn't do the angle right on that.
Yeah.
Or it's migrated.
Right.
Let's here's the way we can fix it.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't have that knowledge, I'd be just like, you screwed up. because I would think I did everything right every time.
Yeah. And there's been a couple times too where someone will come back and go, hey man, this is this way, and I'll look and I'll go, well, did you do this? And they'll go, no. And I'll be like,
come on, we know you touched it.
Are you sure you didn't do that? No, I didn't. Okay, all right, okay, no problem. And I'll fix it up.
No possible way.
And then down the road,
they'll go, yeah, I did that.
they'll be like, that time I came in and that tattoo was messed up.
Now they've gotten to know you. They like you. You become friends. They've been back so many times. They're like, hey, man, remember the time I told you I didn't do that? I did that.
And I just look and I go, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I knew.
Just because I let you get away with it doesn't mean I didn't know. So,
And just because you did do that doesn't mean I don't want the best results you can possibly have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it's for my
brain.
inner info log.
Exactly.
Don't lie to me because I
because I want to know if I did something wrong.
Right. That's the only way.
I can't fix it if I don't know I'm doing it. If I don't know I'm doing the wrong thing, I can't fix it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah. It's
but
like
it's
people
just,
get mad at you because you did something and you have no idea.
Right.
Like children.
At least
when you're raising a child, it's like,
exactly.
don't do that. Well, the reason why they ask why is they need to know why.
Yeah.
And if you just simply explain it to them, usually they'll stop doing it.
Right.
Usually.
And if not, then you got this.
Yeah.
Pow.
Yeah.
But you got to get a chance to even, like, if you got something from somebody and they made you mad and you never saw them or talked to them or went around them, they have no idea that you're mad at them.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah, I have that problem often. It's like, what did I do?
It's the last thing I want as a tattoo artist is to have anyone that has allowed me to do artwork on them to be upset.
That's unhappy, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, that's not the deal at all.
No, come on in. Let me see what you don't like about it. We can fix it. Probably chances are 99.9% chance we can fix whatever it is.
And 99.9% chance I'm going to be as disappointed with whatever that is and want to fix it too.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's my thing.
Because you're walking around with my artwork.
Yeah.
I did that to a friend of mine a few years back. I did this cool Grim Reaper on his arm. It's all black and gray, got a moon in the background, and it's got these little red flames that come like off the, different little parts in the scythe and all that stuff. And there's one little set, and they're tiny. They're like two little licks of the flame. Right over to the right-hand side, just a touch. And I missed them. I just didn't color them in. They're just skin tone. And
it just jumps out at you.
I'm like, let me touch those. And he's like, nope. Every time you see it, you go directly to it. I'm like, I can't look at anything else. Like, please let me touch those up. I was like, how many people say that I missed them? He's like, nobody notices. And I didn't either until you pointed it out. And I'm like, well, I noticed it. Let me fix it. He's like, nope.
No.
It's the only time I see you make a mistake, I'm keeping it. I'm like, you're an ass.
It's kind of like when my kid was a teenager and he'd be like, oh, that girl's really cute. And I'd be like, yeah, but look at the size of her forehead. And once I did that, he could not stop it.
Yeah, you ruined it.
Dad, you ruined everybody for me.
I ruin stuff for my wife all the time. I do songs and stuff. Like an old song will come on, and I'm like, "Oh, this is wait a minute, Mr. Postman," and like done to it, or something else changed it, or she's like, "That's all I hear now." Tiny Danza, hold me closer, Tony Danza. You know what I mean? She's like, "You ruined it." I'm like, "Sorry, my bad." Yeah. That's how my brain works.
Well, that and the Statler brothers.
Stop it.
Oh, yeah. Counting them flowers on the wall.
Statler brothers are good.
Yeah,
doesn't even bother you at all.
Classic. All right, before we get off on the music, I hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Hope you found something useful from our ramblings and general advice. If you like this, give us a thumbs up. Let us know that you like it. If you've had an experience of using AI to design a tattoo, please leave a comment. If you have any questions, always leave a comment because we do look at them and we do read them and answer them when we have time.
They read them to us.
And what would be fun too is to see the artwork that maybe AI generated, and then if you did get tattooed, even somewhat based on that, it'd be fun to see the results and what the artist did with it.
The problem with that is YouTube doesn't let you post videos or photos to comments anymore.
But we do have an email.
But we have an email.
Yeah, we got some ways to do it.
Shop@skinkitchen.com.
And Instagram.
Hey, we need to put some new designs on that thing, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, we'll get around to it.
DaVo. You've been saying that.
It all needs to be redesigned. And when I have 5 minutes, well, I have an apprentice now.
You got an apprentice now.
We'll
I want to hear it.
See if I have more free time.
You heard it here first.
That's right.
Also, check out our merch store, especially if somebody, this is going out before Christmas or holidays. So if you have somebody that likes tattoos or piercings and wants a T-shirt or a mug or something.
Come on, Santa, give me something good.
You can order them on there. Links are all in the description. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings and tattoos heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, we would all love to see if you're tattooing and body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you guys. Be good.